As humans, we tend to kind of just gravitate all the time to what's comfortable. That's why climbing is so interesting, is because it's an uncomfortable sport. I was living in Chamonix for part of the year. I made the call to move back home to the UK. That's how I found myself in Wales, which is somewhere where I spent a lot of time growing up and then also in my formative years as a climber. I've always kind of considered myself an adventure climber and not necessarily an athlete. In the back of my head, I've always gone, I wonder what I could climb if I actually trained pretty hard. Most routes that I do, I kind of know that I'm going to be able to do them or not. Whereas I think there's tons to be learned psychologically from investing in something and not actually even knowing if you can do it or not. When I was struggling with this shoulder injury, I used that time to study and develop a coaching business. And it can at times be stressful because I'm trying to juggle two careers essentially, my professional climbing and the coaching. I definitely feel like I have a more balanced life being a coach as well as a professional climber. Hi everyone. Here I am, and I call my talk The Climb Within. My personal journey from the age of 6 until now, and everything, or well, a lot of what I've learned about my own psychology from putting myself in scary places. I think I was given a bit of a head start in life when it comes to being a bit brave and pushing myself outside my comfort zone, largely because my parents were brave with me and my brother. We were allowed to make risk assessments at a young age. Looking back to some of the things that we did, my dad especially, he just put so much trust in us. Going into climbing as an adult, I was a bit more prepared to make those kind of decisions and make those calls. And I really don't consider myself a particularly risky person. I think I actually have quite a low tolerance for risk, but I'm fairly good at rationalizing the circumstances where there's low risk, but it feels uncomfortable. I think that's kind of what I'm quite good at. Snowdonia is quite a beautiful spot in Wales because you've got the coast, but then just a really short drive inland, you're in the mountains. You can get to 7 different rock types within like an hour's drive or something, so the climbing's really varied as well. Today I'm going climbing with Maddie. She's one of my best friends. I just really trust her and we always have fun as well.
I've been climbing with Hazel since I started climbing, so for me that's probably like a bit over 10 years now. I think we're both people who see the value in not taking ourselves too seriously. We both know that we can push the other a little bit in terms of taking the mick, and I think that's really nice to have in life and when you go out climbing.
Climbing with your friends, it's like you can be nervous in a moment, but then the next minute you're like laughing at some joke they've just told, and it allows you to see that, yeah, okay, I'm slightly nervous, but I'm also having a laugh and doing this thing that matters to me, but it also like doesn't matter. It's like a sort of a weird paradox, but in that space, I think that's what brings out the best performances.
The next route we're going to go to is a route called Soap on a Rope, which is a route above Vivian Quarry, which is water-filled. You're in this really beautiful spot with quarried slate walls rising above you with the lake underneath. It's almost like a lagoon, and it's really fun to do as a solo. So it's kind of like a good mental training, a challenge. You abseil into Soap on a Rope, and so on the way down we were kind of like brushing the holds to get the dirt off them. It's quite interesting, that process, because obviously the longer you take looking at the moves and brushing the holds, the easier it will feel when you come to do it without the rope there. At some point you make the call and be like, yeah, I'm happy with this, I think it's gonna be fine. When you come to actually do it, sometimes you're like kicking yourself because you're like, oh God, I wish I'd worked this move out better.
The concept of mental training for me is an ongoing process, like it never ends. So all of the things that I could learn to help me become a better coach are also things that are going to help me learn to be a better climber, but also probably a better person. And for me, there's no like, oh yeah, I've made it, like now I'm just like this mind ninja. Process of learning more about my own psychology and about psychology in general just keeps rolling, and I find that personally really motivating, that it will never end and I'll never have to get bored of it.